guys, me again. So I've just finished filming a video, but you're going to see this one first. Oh, yay! Slipper socks. So hopefully that'll be the next video you see. Nothing's ever simple as it. I was going to upload it. But my computer and everything needs resetting. So while that's doing that, I've decided to make another video, and I will show you this one first. And that was the microwave just pinging. I've got some pasta cooking in here, so I've cooked it for a little while now, covered it in cream, and hopefully that will cook while I do this video. Time is so precious at the moment. I'm trying to get everything in and not waste time. So hopefully, I'm achieving that. Got myself coffee, guys, and I was given this coffee for free. Thank you so much. It is beautiful. So they're little sachets of Nescafe coffee 3-in-1, which is coffee, cream and sugar. You can get them 2-in-1, which is just coffee and cream, or you can just get coffees. This is 3-in-1. I think there's sweeteners in it, and creamer it's called. And it has brought me on to my next video, what I want to talk about. I've had this coffee cup for so long. I have a little tumbler as well, a metal tumbler, and I use that mainly. I do use it around the house, but when I go out, because it keeps my drinks so much hotter. This one, like I said, I've had a few years now and it's great, but it's brilliant for around the house, and it makes me feel like I've had a takeaway coffee when I haven't. So brings me on to this video. And I'm seeing a lot of people asking for help on how to reduce what they spend on food a month. So I'm just going to do this video, well, a couple of videos I think, addressing that, on what I do to keep my bills low, my food bill low, because what I'm going to talk about now, this would come out of my food bill. So reducing how much we spend on food. And in this video I want to talk about eating out, takeaways, coffees and lunches. So eating out, because if I ate out it would come out of food budget. So I've done some research, numbers and figures kind of girl, and I love sitting down and doing some research. So I found out the average pub meal costs between £8 and £12. I will be looking down at my nose, guys. But I think now that has gone up. That would be a really cheap meal if it was between £8 and £12. Maybe they're going off Wetherspoon's prices, I'm not sure. In a restaurant, the average meal is between £15 and £25. So on average, a meal for two would cost you about £40. Now then, a bottle of wine, if you're eating out in a pub or a restaurant, minimum £10. £10 for a bottle of wine. Wow. I'm not a big wine drinker, so I don't know if that's expensive. You know, I do look in the shops and I'm sure you can get a nice bottle of wine a lot cheaper than £10. Soft drinks, £3. Pint of lager or beer, £5. Wow, that's a lot of, quite expensive, isn't it? And then on takeaways, on average, for 2 people, not a family, 2 people. So if it's 2 adults, 2 kids, you could double this. And then a takeaway on average is £40. Again, I suppose how much you get and where you get it from. All the big supermarkets now do a dine-in range, where you can go to them, buy ready meals, and it's usually a set deal. Tesco's do dine in for £12. I know Marks and Spencer's do a really nice one. When I got it last, and they used to do like a rotisserie chicken, and the chicken on its own was £7. So it was a great deal. So if I wanted to treat us, I would go to M&S and get this dine in, and you get like a starter, a main, a side, a dessert, and either a bottle of wine or 2 bottles of soft drink. And I always used to get 2 bottles of the elderflower. Anyway, lovely. So, you know, instead of eating out, Could you go to the supermarket and buy one of these kits and come home, and so you don't feel like you're slaving away, but you still get a really nice meal and save it? Even if you just did that once instead of going out a month, you know, just do it once a month, so you'd be saving like at least £40, because, you know, I know these meals cost 12, but I'm sure like for 2 people it would cost more than £40 now with the price of everything going up. Same with takeaway meals. They do the Chinese and the Indian meals in bags, and I think they're £10. Or you can do what I do, and I always do a fake away. I have those plastic little boxes that you get from the Indian and the Chinese, and when I cook I put them in there and I put them on the table and serve them like that, and my son thinks it's great. We feel like we're not going out, but it costs a fraction of the price to eat in rather than to go out. And like I said, you know, if you really want to save, obviously you don't eat out and you don't get takeaways, but if you feel like you don't want to go without, maybe you could like have one fake away a month and one takeaway a month instead of 2 takeaways or eating out or anything like that. Asda and Morrison's also do deals on pizza. If you want a pizza night, they do 2 pizzas and a drink, I think Asda do, for £6. Morrison's do a thing where you can make your own pizzas even. So yeah, and it's cheaper than buying takeout. But yeah, there's loads of ways, loads of fun ways that you can do it at home. So then in 2022, people on average spent £1,758 a year on eating out and takeaways. So if you're on minimum wage at £11.44p an hour, that's 153 hours you are working just to cover eating out and takeaways. That's like a month's wages if you're on 35 hours a week. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely. Wow. When you do the figures like that and sit down and you realise how much money you're spending. So, you know, if you could half that, half it, you'd be saving like £700. Like I said, if you did it eating once instead of going out twice or having takeaways twice, you could half that and save over £700 a year. Or you could do it completely and save a hell of a lot more. And then that brings me to another thing, and the whole reason for the video, buying coffee. Did you know there's 50 million cups of coffee served every year in the UK? 50 million. The industry is worth £7.9 billion. So then, at the moment, the average price of coffee is between £3.40 and £3.80. And then in London now, it's gone up to, in some places, £5 per coffee. £5. So if you bought a coffee every day, 5 days a week, that would cost you £19 a week. £19 a week, which is just under £1,000 a year on coffee, on takeaway coffees. Now then, I'm not here to say stop drinking coffee, stop buying your takeaway coffees, because you might not want to do that. I'm just giving you ideas of what you can do alternative. So if you do want to keep the coffees going, find a way to make it cheaper for yourself. Now then, I am not promoting any shops, I'm not doing any of that, I'm just giving you info that I found, okay? Wetherspoons do a cup of tea, take out now, tea or coffee for 99p a cup. And I know a lot of people say they don't like Wetherspoons and stuff, but they're still selling 1 million cups of coffee. 1 million a year. That's a lot of coffee, isn't it? A lot. So if you went to do that, it's just 99p a cup, you would be saving a fortune. So that's one alternative. There's also loyalty programs. Costa Coffee does it, Starbucks, Cafe Nero, Pret do it. Every time you buy a coffee, you get a loyalty point and then you get a free coffee at the end of it. That's how that works. If you really like Costa Coffee, you could always try buying a jar of Costa Coffee and making your own coffee. You could add syrups, you could add cream, whatever. In the long run, it would cost you a lot less to make your own coffee and take it to work. But if you don't want to, try and find a way that'll make it cheaper for you, so you're not spending £3.40 or £3.80 a day. If you bought 3 coffees a week and made your own on 2 days a week, you could save yourself up to £500 a year. You could halve the spending on coffee just by skipping those 2 coffees. Yeah, if you don't want to cut down completely, maybe just have coffees 3 days a week. And that's just one, mind you. I know some people have more than one. This is just one. If you just cut down, and in money terms, £500, that's an all-inclusive holiday for a week that you could go on. You could buy yourself a super duper brand new telly. You could buy yourself a tablet. Loads of stuff for £500. And then also, buying coffees, going into work, a lot of people buy their lunches in work or to take to work. They don't make their own lunches at home. So then, and this goes for school dinners as well, dinner money for children versus making your own lunch to take in. So a lot of the supermarkets, again, they do meal deals. If you have their cards, Tesco's do a club card, Sainsbury's do a Nectar Points, Morrison's do a loyalty card, Asda do rewards now. Anyway, and if you use those cards when you go shopping, most of the time it makes the meal deals cheaper. So on average, a meal deal now for a sandwich, we'll keep it as a sandwich. I know you can get different things. A sandwich, a drink and a snack is £4. That's what on average it is. If you use the club cards, they tend to take them down to about £3.50. Now then, just by signing up for that card and using that card to take your meal from £4 a day to £3.50, you can save £120 a year. Just by getting that little loyalty card and scanning it. That's all you have to do, will save you £120 a year. Now then, again, you don't have to make your food every single day. If you want to treat yourself, say on a Friday, you can. It will just save you loads of money by cutting down a couple of days. If you cut down a couple of days a week, again, you can save so much money. If you just spent £10 a week on making your own food, own lunches, you can save over £500 a year and more. But like I said, you know, if you don't want to go out completely, just cut it down a couple of days. Just give you a few ideas, guys. I'm not saying you have to cut it out completely if you don't want to. Obviously, you know, if you want to save a load of money, you make everything your own. Get yourself a little treat every now and then. But instead of going out to the pub all the time or to a restaurant, maybe you could get a nice meal from the supermarket, dine in for 2. You don't have to cook. You just have to reheat it and serve, and it's done. By cutting down on the amount of coffees you have, the lunches you buy, and the takeaways or the restaurant meals you have, you could save yourself a lot of money. And sometimes people don't even realise how much they're spending or how often they're spending. Keep a little note of it. And surveys show that as soon as you get paid, you tend to spend more money as well on eating out and lunches when you've been paid. So just be mindful of that as well. So I hope you found this video helpful, guys. If you have, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.